Here is a terrifying Vietnamese ghost story for you. The old house was abandoned. It had been empty for decades since its last owner passed away. Nobody lived there, or at least that's what everyone in the village believed. One night, someone dared to sneak into the old house. They were never seen again. Every night they heard the sound of singing coming from the old house. At first, it was just a whisper. But then it grew louder and more clear. Now they could make out the voice of a young woman singing sadly and listlessly. One day a young man named Min decided he wanted to hear the song for himself. He crept closer to the house and listened intently. The song was unlike any he had ever heard before. It seemed like the voice was right behind him, yet when he turned around, he saw no one. Then he heard chains dragging metal moans. Terrified, he ran away. From then on, many people came to the village to listen to the song of the ghost woman, but no one ever saw her. A few weeks later, Min returned to the old house to look for the ghost woman. No one had laid eyes on her, but surely if he searched the rooms, he would find some trace of her presence. Maybe just a glint of white cloth or an apparition of her form. And so he began his search, looking in every corner and crevice. Suddenly, the floorboards beneath him gave way, and he fell through. Startled, he slowly climbed out of the hole. Then he saw something strange. Down in the hole was a set of stairs leading down into darkness. Curiosity got the better of him, and he started to descend. At the bottom of the stairs, he saw a door made of iron bars. As he approached it, he heard the ghost woman singing right behind him. She sounded close, as though she were in the very next room. With shaking hands, he pushed open the door and stepped inside. It was dark, so dark he could not see his hand in front of his face. Then he felt something brush against his leg. He screamed and stumbled backward, knocking over an old oil lamp. Suddenly, the room was filled with light, and the ghost woman standing before him. She looked beautiful, ethereal, and sad. He could not help but stare. Her long black hair reached all the way down to her ankles. Her pale skin shone like moonlight, and her eyes were pools of endless sorrow. Then she began to sing. Her voice echoed through the chamber, weaving tales of love and loss, of joy and despair. He stood there, mesmerized, unable to tear his eyes away from her. When the song ended, she turned and walked away, disappearing into the shadows. He wanted to follow her, to speak to her, but his feet seemed rooted to the spot. As quickly as she had appeared, she was gone. The room was empty. Silent. He called out to her, but only his own voice answered him. Desperate to see her again, he ran out of the room and up the stairs, bursting out into the sunlight. He told the villagers about his encounter with the ghost woman, but they didn't believe him. They had come to listen to the song, but not to witness the singer. So the ghost woman became a legend, a myth, Only he knew the truth. Many years passed, but he never forgot the ghost woman. He often dreamed of her, her sad eyes and mournful song haunting his sleep. One day, he decided he could bear it no longer. He returned to the village where the old house stood, now nothing but a crumbling ruin. As he stepped inside, he heard the familiar sound of chains dragging. Then he saw her. The ghost woman was standing in the corner, her back to him. She was as beautiful and ethereal as he remembered, yet somehow more sorrowful. He called out to her, but she did not turn around. She continued to stare out the window, her eyes fixed on the distant hills. He approached her slowly, hesitantly. She was so close now, yet so far away. He could feel her sadness, her loneliness, and he wanted to help her. As he reached out to touch her, she finally turned around. Her eyes met his, and in that moment, everything changed. He saw not a ghost, but a woman, a living, breathing woman. Her skin was cold, her eyes empty. She was a shell of her former self, trapped between worlds. He could tell she wasn't evil, but rather a kind and gentle soul who had met a terrible fate. And so he stayed with her, talking for hours, sharing stories and dreams. He learned her name was Can, and she had been cursed by a jealous sorceress many years ago. She had been turned into a ghost, doomed to wander the earth for eternity, forever singing her sorrowful song. But he also saw a flicker of hope in her eyes, a tiny spark that refused to be extinguished. And he knew he had to help her break the curse. This is the end of part 1 of the Vietnamese ghost story. Do you dare to listen to the song of the ghost woman? Let me know your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe for more scary stories.